Yay, I'm live with another Fearless Singer Daily. So, for the last 10 days, actually hasn't quite been 10 days yet, but for 10 days, I'm going live with bite sized coaching from voice to mindset to business. And today's session is related to business. Well, it can be, but it also is more related to mindset. And it's all about how we can really get clear on what our story is so that it really informs our personal ontology. And I'm going to unpack that word in a second because it's a big one. I remember when I first learned it, I was like, "What? It sounds like what with your personal story about birds, or what is that? What is that meant to be?" Um, so yeah, how we can deepen our vocal, our artistic practice through story, and as well as how we can use it to connect powerfully to the music that we are singing or studying, and how we can also connect and build our audience through story. So I'm just going to give you like I guess tell you my story, my mission, and how I came about it, and how that informs my own practice. So for many years, I grew up as a performing child. I was always on the stage, doing Eisteddfods, performing in community events. I'm from Bundaberg, very encouraging, nurturing town when it came to young talent. It still is. It's a fantastic place to grow up and live. And somewhere sort of in my late teens and early 20s, I lost confidence when it came to singing. And I think really sort of, not getting into the conservatorium, straight out of school, and, not really doing the normal things, or being accepted into different courses and things as a young person. I had to, go, all right, well, what do I want to do with my life? So I ended up doing journalism. And I then went and had a career in the government as a communications officer. And yeah, again, really yearning to sing and yearning to be in a band and you know, understanding music more powerfully, but being on a stage somewhere and performing. And yeah, just didn't know how to go about it, and just feeling really stuck. So, but actually, through some, I guess, meaningful events and happen chances, I met different people. I met the love of my life, who is now on this live, my best friend Spoonie Joe, who is Amy, and we started a band, and that's how I sort of then started, getting into music more, and we were performing on weekends, we toured, so that was in a band called the Warm Guns. But then, yeah, still really, like, we're still performing, but just not sure how, like, but how do I make this my life's work? Because this is what I really want to do. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to move to London. And I'm just going to be a full-time musician. I'll find a way to do it. Except I brought my whole life in Brisbane, which was working in corporate communications and government as well. And then taking that and then doing exactly the same thing in London. I was in rock bands over there, and it was just like weekend, fun. But yeah, it was the same life. And then I thought, okay, it was time to come back to Australia. And I thought, okay, this is my opportunity. I can now go and study music, or I can keep going along this same career path of corporate communications. And yeah, I was 27, and I didn't have any money. I had nothing, but also the freedom of that is I had no responsibilities. I had no mortgages, no kids, and so it was actually this moment where I can go, okay, I'm just gonna go and study. That was my path, and that's what I did. I auditioned, got into jazz school, and then I did my masters in voice and then and jazz, and and the rest is history. But really, it's not like it wasn't a straight up trajectory, and it's still like this journey that's going in all funny directions, but I can confidently say that I'm a full-time singer and I'm a full-time creative and business owner. So that's my story. And you might think, okay, that's only one element of my story, by the way. How do I use that then to build my audience? Well, one, it basically, or hopefully, I've used it on my website to say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I've done. This is what I've been through. I suffered from confidence issues. However, through this, and this, and this, I'm now doing this. And so what you're doing is you're offering like hope for, people that come across your website, but also too, you're attracting people that might be on similar paths and need bits and pieces of your story to help them in their own life. Now that's purely from a business perspective. You can do the same thing as a singer-songwriter, as a musician, as a, anything, an artist, whatever it is, to attract your audience is to tell truthfully who it is you are, what has happened in your journey, and also, more importantly, what you believe in. That's something that I, will talk about a lot in stories, and I'll talk a lot in lives. Like, what are some of your belief systems? What do you stand for? For me, what are your values? And for me, kindness and honesty and equality and inclusivity are really important things for me. And I will talk about it and I will share about it. And again, what we're doing when we're putting these, they are, like I said, energetic calling cards out to the world. We're going to be attracting the people that will want to listen to our music or come to our shows. Spinny Joe says, I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles too. In fact, I feel like life is just one series of miracles after the other. And miracles, we always expect them to be super big, but they're all just little shifts in consciousness, and they can create bigger things. So how does that, okay, and if you're like, okay, well, yeah, that's great. But what if I don't really want to be a full-time business owner, or I don't really want to be standing in front of a stage every week singing, but singing is something that is special to me. And how do I help how does the idea of storytelling and your own personal ontology help me in my own practice? Well, I think what it does, when you really get clear on who you are, where you've come from, what series of events have led you to a certain point in your life, what series of events have led you to believing the things that you believe in, it really will help create a framework within you that will, discover certain pieces of music that really resonate with you. So you'll hear a song and it will speak powerfully to you, and you'll go, okay, I really want to explore that. How will that feel when I sing that song, and how will it feel in my body? And what it does, it just develops a much deeper relationship with self, and it develops a much deeper relationship with the music. And you're then developing this rich, even though it's a vocal musical practice, but you're actually developing this rich spiritual practice in your life, which, will have so many knock-on benefits. But actually, the real benefit is that you're doing something that's bringing you joy every single day, and that's connecting you with a higher sense of source, whatever your belief is in. So, and that's what developing a personal ontology is. It's like it's a deep philosophy and practice that is, that's yours, and it's sacred. And you can share it if you want to, and you will. And when you do generously share it, and you are in a position where you want to be a gigging musician and you want to start growing and building this audience that you can have this lovely exchange with, either here on social media or on a stage, it will be meaningful and it will feel really nice. And maybe sometimes things will go awry, and then when things do, because that's life, because life is just polarity, we're here to experience all the colors, all the emotions, all the feels in this experience. When things go slightly awry, we've got this something sacred to come back to. It's like a haven that we create for ourselves. So just to recap all of that, because there's a lot in there. Developing your own story. So if you struggle with words, if you struggle with typing it out, just put it into a voice memo. Pretend that you're on a podcast and someone said, hey, so tell us a little about your story from the beginning. You can be like, well, it began in 1982, and whatever it is. So just like leave a voice memo like as though it's like a podcast episode. So get your story out. Then also reflect on what are some of your values. If you Google lists of values, you'll get like whole PDF downloads where you can then just print out one of those, download. I should do one myself. And then just start circling words. Yeah, I value freedom. Yeah, I value justice. So, and then start collecting your values. And then if you wanted to, you can then go, well, which values are more important to me? I really need to make sure I put that do not disturb on my phone when I'm doing these. And then from there, you can then reflect on, okay, well, what's my mission? What's my purpose? What is it that people tell me are my best qualities? Like, it could be that, I'm kind, or I help, like I'm always there to like help someone in need. If someone's moving, I'm there with you, helping them. Whatever it is, just reflect on what are some of my superpowers that people often comment on and tell me about myself. And we can then look at that and then weave that into a mission statement. So it could be, Mel Thuris, I believe that everybody has a story to share, and that we should, because, we are helping the world expand by giving our unique perspective into the world. I value kindness, honesty, and compassion. So getting that out on a piece of paper or in a journal, and then just reflecting on, okay, well then from there, so if you are a singer, hopefully you are if you're watching, then go, okay, well what music really resonates and sort of fits in with some of these themes? So then you can start creating playlists of songs that are meaningful and match some of those values and that mission. And then maybe even you can start experimenting with writing your own words, like writing your own songs. And just know too, with songwriting, just aim for shit. Like honestly, just get started by just, getting a few ideas out and just experiment and play and have fun with it. And it doesn't have to be an award-winning song, or, it doesn't even have to be a song. It can be like little snippets of soundscape and words. But, play for that pure joy of doing it. Because remembering, at the end of the day, it's about developing that personal ontology, that personal rich spiritual practice. And then if you want to share it, then that's great. So I hope that was helpful. The power of storytelling, reflecting on your values, reflecting on mission, creating your own personal spiritual practice or ontology around that. How then that is beneficial for yourself as an artist, but also for yourself as a human being. And also then, if you then want to share that with others, this is like powerful fuel that is going to, it's probably the wrong word, not fuel. This is something that's like, it's energy that will attract your audience to you, basically. And you can then start to, build that relationship and that community around your music and what you do. It may be that you are in some kind of business. Definitely tap into this. It's very, very powerful. And it's a way of understanding self and another way of understanding your audience and then connecting to that. So hopefully that was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything that's dropped for you, resonated with you. If you would like to share your own practices or your own values, I'd love to hear from you. Also, too, if you're like, yeah, this is all wonderful. Actually, I'm more here for the vocal tips and the mindset tips. Head on to fearlesssingerkit.com. I've got a pack of beautiful free resources. So I've got daily exercises. There's an EFT course. There's also an ebook on boundaries for singers. It's just full of scripts that you can just copy and paste and just use them in emails with fellow musicians, venues, students, if you're an educator. So that's there. And also it's a growing resource. So some of these best training videos, I'll pop it in there like a library. So I really wanted to create a beautiful space online that has all of these gems in one spot that you can go to and you can use and charge up and feel inspired, but also more importantly, take tangible things away, and that's going to help your voice, your mind and spirit and your business. The other thing too, if you're interested in coaching, so you want to get some one-on-one coaching with me. Now remembering I'm not a singing teacher, I am a coach for singers. And I mentor there can be voice work, but it's mostly to do with mindset and business. If you're thinking, yeah, I really want to develop my own practice and I also want to develop my own audience, or build my audience, or I want to start creating a beautiful side hustle or a full-time business so I can be a full-time creative, head on to my website, fearlesssinger.com. Just click on the work with me and just check out my packages there. So yeah, cool. Talk to you soon. Lots and lots of love.